Hello everybody, GaminGit here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to strip down your AirArms S410 Classic air rifle. This video probably applies to a couple of the other models as well, or at least act as a sort of reference point for those. The first thing you're going to want to do is remove all of the pressure that's built up inside the pressure vessel inside the gun. You'll hear it hiss, just like that. Then you know that there's not going to be any nasty surprises waiting for you. After that, you just want to remove all the hardware that might be attached to your gun, like this scope, or a laser sight, or a bipod, whatever you've got attached. Just remove it, you won't be needing that. Next, we're going to remove the magazine. We won't be needing that either. The disassembly of the gun is relatively simple. In fact, all you'll need is a set of good quality Allen keys, or hex keys, whatever you want to call them, hex wrenches. And you want to start by taking a 5mm Allen key and remove the screw that's next to the pressure gauge on the underside of the stock. That will allow the stock to pull away from the main part of the gun. Like so. The wooden stock can just be set aside. You won't be needing that until we reassemble the gun later. So now we have the business end of the gun in our hands with all the unnecessary stuff removed. At this stage I decided to remove the suppressor from the end of the barrel. You don't really need to do this, I just did it so I could have a look at what was in there and, you know, see if there's anything that needed to be cleaned or if there was anything wrong. It was very tight to remove. It took a lot of wiggling and twisting and pulling just to get it off. So now I'm removing the filling valve cover, slowly but surely, just to expose that. See a close up here. Just removing there's like a locking ring that locks the barrel to the pressure vessel underneath. This was also very tight to get off, but as you can see, just 2 screws locking it in place. It was very tight. Sort of very tight fitting over the end of the barrel. As soon as I finished playing around with the screws, again it took a lot of wiggling and persuading to get it off the end. So now I'm removing the mechanism on the gun that sort of advances the magazine around, if you will. So when you pull the bolt back, it turns the magazine one step round, you know, so you can load the next pellet. Just a quick demonstration there of how it sort of slides inside the housing there. You can see when that comes forward, the little arm moves up, and that's what's actually turning the magazine round. So now I'm on to removing the, I guess you would call it a receiver, possibly. I don't know, I'm not actually a gunsmith, just an engineer by profession. So this is where you'll encounter the first sort of problem on most AirArms guns. When you take those 4 screws out at the top, give it a pull, and there appears to be nothing holding it on. However, if you turn the gun upside down, you'll see those 2 aluminium silver plugs sort of recessed into the bottom of the gun there. Those will have to be removed to allow access to a further 2 sort of security screws. I mean, again, AirArms put those there to stop you, you know, messing with your gun essentially, and maybe getting more power out of it than you legally are allowed to. So here I'm just using an old bradawl to centre punch the 2 aluminium plugs, just to make sure that when I do bring a drill to it, that they do hit them dead centre, as you can see there. They really are only thin plugs. I mean, the bradawl's actually gone pretty much all the way through there. You want to use an 8mm drill bit here. I was using a drill press. You don't really need to use a drill press. I just did it because I had one. You know, you could use, if you were careful, you could just use a regular cordless drill. Like I say, the aluminium is really soft, it drills really easily. You just have to make sure you just go through the aluminium and no further, because otherwise you'll start to drill the head of the screw that's underneath, and you don't want to do that. So you can see that after drilling it, it's given us an access hole where we can insert our Allen key, remove the screw. The hole's just big enough that the whole screw will fit through that hole, so that you can remove it to continue the disassembly. So now we've removed the barrel and the receiver from the trigger assembly and the pressure vessel. We've got that in our hands now, as you can see. The next step we're going to want to do is take the end cap off the back of the section that is attached to the pressure vessel. As you can see in the video there, it's that end cap. What that's going to do is allow us access to the hammer rail and hammer. These are the parts that you really do want to make sure are clean and well lubricated. In my own personal experience, I was having a lot of problems with this gun because I bought it second hand. It really wasn't up to par. The power was down a lot, which is what sort of prompted me to think, alright, I need to take this apart and have a look at what's not right, because quality air rifle, you know, shouldn't be this poor. So that's the hammer spring and the hammer rail there. That is the hammer rail with the hammer taken off. So as you can see, that the hammer pushes against that tiny little valve at the end there, which is what actually allows some of the air out of the pressure vessel and into the barrel, you know, pushing the pellet out of the barrel. So I'm taking the pressure vessel apart here. Again, this is why it's so important to make sure that's not pressurised, otherwise you'll probably damage the threads of that piece there and yourself when you're removing this part, which wouldn't be good. So I've got the trigger assembly in my hands now. Just give you a little look at it. You see the pin here, this is so you can actually have the gun set up so the bolt can be on the left or right hand side of the gun. You can actually take that pin out, change it to the other side and fit the bolt the other way around. Never tried it myself, not sure if it's as easy as I just make it sound then, but who knows. This is me cleaning out all the sort of gunk that was inside of the hammer there, sort of dry oil, and you know, it had gone quite greasy and sticky, which is obviously not ideal when it's supposed to be sort of gliding up and down that rail. So I'm just using an Allen key with some with a cloth, an old t-shirt in fact, wrapped around the Allen key, just to try and remove some of that. Now I'm just putting some gun oil on a bit of old rag just to polish up the hammer rail with, using my best possible polishing action. I mean, I could have really gone to town on that, but you know, it was a simple sort of tear down. I just wanted to make sure it was free from that sort of sticky dry oil, and as you can see now, the hammer's gliding up and down that rail marvellously. So when you pull the trigger, the hammer is able to hit the air valve with a lot more force, therefore opening it more and allowing more air into the barrel.